ShinRobjira.
What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Burning Godzilla figure from Playmates. So far, everything I've been seeing of this figure seems to allude to this boy being the harbinger of new and more acceptable ways from Playmates. Let's take a look. Right up front, taking a look at this box, it looks to be the exact same box that we've gotten with the other Playmates Classic Series Godzilla figures, except this one's more in line with the 6-inch Final Wars Godzilla. It's flimsy and it's really not all that appealing. On the back of the box, we can see the brand new lineup of Playmates Classic Series figures: Final Wars Goji, Duck Goji, Spase Godzilla, Jet Jaguar, who I will be talking about very, very soon, and our boy, Burning Godzilla. And that's pretty much it when it comes to packaging. Let's snip them out.
Oh, snippy. Und not first rodeo. Und snip. In double third snip. Burning lizard. Und final snip.
That was weird. Is this purple? Alright, let's just get this empty box out of here. And let's take a look at the figure. And I'm a little on the surprised side. Don't get me wrong, it's very nice looking, but translucent purple, just like the Poster 64 said. Check that video out and check that channel out while you're at it as well. This is definitely interesting, to say the least. Anyway, alright there, Godzilla. You just hang on tight while I apply your tail. The tail has been applied. Alright, friends and neighbors, I'm going to try and say this in the nicest and least biased way possible. I really like this Burning Godzilla figure. Now, I do have my issues with it. Don't think I'm going soft on you now, because there are some issues, but as a baseline for a figure at the beginning of this review, I am honestly really liking it. But let's take a closer look, shall we? So looking at this figure head on, he does come off a little bit more on the cute side and not writhing in flaming nuclear pain. Kind of like his Bandai Creation / Bandai America counterpart. But unlike some of his other counterparts, who we will be looking at in this video, the eyes are painted straight, and I feel that there is a good amount of red, yellow, and black on the eyes. They're just a little bit on the bigger side is all. And yes, he comes off a little bit more cutesy than anything else. It's like he's trying to come off pained and tortured, and it's just not working out for him too well. Taking an even closer look at the face, though, overall, it does look very nice. Again, the cutesy eyes might not be for everybody, and the teeth being painted the way that they are painted here might be a turnoff for some, but there's one other thing about the head of this figure that just doesn't bug me, but confuses me to some extent. It's purple, and as compared to the skin, which is much darker, it just looks a little weird. But you see, the best thing about this is just that this is just up close. Taking a look at the figure from farther away, yeah, it's not going to be as noticeable. Actually, it is still a little noticeable, to me at least, to me. Moving further down and looking at some of Godzilla's burning patches here, they are they're alright. Yes, they don't even begin to hold a candle to the original 2003 release. Get it? Candle? Burning Godzilla? And maybe they're not as flashy as the recent Bandai Movie Monster series release, but in comparison, and in my own opinion, it definitely looks better than the latest Movie Monster series release. Although I cannot deny, the burning patches taking on a particular shape, just like how they are on the shoulder blades, on both sides, is a little Granted, when Bandai America did it, I'd say the results were equally as And when the recent Bandai Movie Monster series version did it, it was also pretty Not to sound like a broken record, but the original Bandai version just feels better than everything else. But I digress. Despite the burning patches on the figure taking on a bit more of a shapelier form, I still think they look pretty good in terms of the paint, the orange and the yellow, very nice. The only area I'm not really crazy about, but glad they included, is going to be the burning streaks on the neck. They just look a little like they made a puddle of watercolor paints on Godzilla's chest and just turned him upside down. I don't know, I like the very not machine looking application to it, but they do kind of just end. You know, like Godzilla vs. Kong. Oh! And the burning patches on the thighs do be looking like mouths a little bit, like the thunder thighs have gained sentiency and now want to eat you with their thickness. That's gonna come back to bite me one day. Just saying that, I already know. It's gonna happen. The dorsal fins this go around were painted a darker orange with the base color of the figure to kind of represent the root and center of all of them. And personally, I think they look pretty good. The paint on the dorsal fins looks nice, even if they were just spray painted on, as you can tell by looking over here. I really wouldn't call it in any way distracting though. Still gets the point across, nice and orange. And surprising to some, but not many I'm sure, the detail on these dorsal fins look pretty dang good. Yeah, you're gonna have to tilt to really get a good look at the detail on them, but the detail is there and it do be looking rather nice. Even on the small ones towards the base of the tail. And speaking of which, look at that. The dorsal fins are painted all the way to the tip of the tail. Hallelujah! That is absolutely a king move for Playmates to be making. Although I will say the lack of painted claws and toenails is a bit of an upset. I do feel like painted claws and toenails really would have tied this thing together. In a near perfect way, too. But before we move on to articulation, I have to discuss one more thing. I do find it rather interesting that the more vinyl-based pieces of the figure look purple in some areas. Like, I feel you can see it at the top of the head and the side of the head a little bit, and in comparison to the rest of the body, it's definitely a lot lighter. I don't know if it's the kind of vinyl that Playmates used, but it is noticeable. I wouldn't say it's noticeable from afar, like I said earlier, but the closer I bring the figure to the camera, you can definitely see that Godzilla's base color is definitely not black. And I feel like it's extra visible on the toenails and feet as well, as it is on the claws. From either side, too. I can't tell if I'm upset over that or not, or if I'm just pointing it out just to point it out because I'm really unaffected by it. Important to note because I don't think I've said it enough, but I do really like the detail on this figure. It's there, it's bountiful, it makes the figure look fantastic, and where there is paint, it makes the figure look complete. So when it comes to detail, I'm definitely giving this figure a full star because I do think he looks rather fantastic. But when it comes to the paint, the missing claw and toenail paint, and some of the rather spotty orange paint on this thing, I'm gonna have to knock it down from a whole star to a half a star. Definitely could have been better applied in some areas. Moving on to articulation. The head can move all the way around. Both of the arms can move all the way around, although when it comes to this one, you are going to have to move the arm out a little bit, like so. But this arm do be looking like it might pop out if you pull too hard on it, so do be careful when rotating this all the way around. Quite possibly my favorite improvement when it comes to the articulation, the legs can go all the way around now. They're no longer stopped. This is great. Yes, Playmates, this is what we want. And the tail can go all the way around as well. Oh man, the articulation on this figure is pretty damn sweet. I feel like Playmates covered every major area. I think the only thing they really could have included was a waist swivel, but it doesn't need it. I'm going to be giving articulation a full star. But you know me, I'm not done quite yet. When comparing these two figures together, I really can't pick which one I like more. They're both pretty different, and I feel both bring a nice stylistic change to Burning Godzilla's design. I can't really say the same about the 2017 Burning Godzilla figure from the movie monster series because it just feels so majorly lackluster. But I do have to say, when looking at these figures from afar, this guy really could have used paint on the claws and toenails. But when looking at this guy from afar, he really could have used some paint on his tail. So these two kind of balance each other out. But when it comes to comparing my favorite Bandai Burning Godzilla figure to the newest Burning Godzilla figure, I really still think there is no contest. Although, Playmates, if you do happen to make an all-translucent orange and yellow Burning Godzilla figure, I will be there so quick. So overall, I feel the Playmates Burning Godzilla figure brings the stylistic choices and articulation over from the Bandai Creation release, but also manages to bring over the almost there accuracy the movie monster series figures have brought forward. It's honestly a very well-rounded figure and one of Playmates' best, easily. The vast improvement from that of Space Godzilla and Shin Godzilla and even the Final Wars Godzilla, which I really don't dislike. It's like night and day. I can't believe this is the same company. This is what Playmates is capable of, and I feel like they can go even further. I may not have been singing Playmates' praises from the very beginning, but I do stand by what I said. They are capable of putting out good material, and this figure is just more proof of that. Now, of course, this isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. The paint, while enjoyable, can be a little bit here nor there, and the overall translucent purple visage of some of Godzilla's extremities is a little bit on the weird side. But honestly, for $10, man, I really don't think you're doing too bad with this. In fact, I would suggest getting this figure over the most recent Bandai Burning Godzilla. It just looks more appealing to me, even without the painted fingernails and toes. And that's all I have to say about the Playmates Burning Godzilla. Do so hope you enjoyed. Check out the links in the description below, and I will see you all later on during the week for more fun stuff that's coming in, because so much of it is coming in. Playmates, Funko, Reborn. God, I'm gonna be swamped all over again. So yeah, that's it. Bye.